We saw a lot of really cool custom cars, lots of sparkly paint, my favorite. And later today, I'm gonna go interview the lady who puts pockets in all of her dresses, so stay tuned and follow me. Hi, I'm Dianna.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
From California.
Oh, so you didn't have too far to get here?
No.
Okay, did you drive in?
We did.
Is this your first time to the Rockabilly Festival?
This is my first time, yes.
Yeah, what did you like about it?
I liked all the fashion.
Obviously, look, you look adorable.
Like me and the girls. I'm a member of Luscious Ladies, so we're here, and like all the girls from all the other chapters, they come.
Okay.
I'm the president of the LA chapter.
Fun.
So we did like big group shoots, like in front of the alligator.
Right,
right. In front of the pool.
I think I saw you guys earlier.
So, yeah. I like meeting all the other girls and getting to hang out with all of them.
How much fun. Well, it was lovely meeting you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your stay.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Have a good night, guys.
So we really liked that, and the thing I really liked was you'd see a few people there with their dogs. Of course, it's service dog friendly. It has to be, but even so, everybody, you could tell people who haven't been around their animals for a while, because I would be like, look, there's a dog.
She's so cute. She's an old man. She's doing her job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Look how sweet he is. He's so cute. What kind of dog is he?
So we would have to go hunt down the dog, and you know, we never pet the service animals, but we like to ask the people about their dog.
You promise to love him, honor him, comfort and cherish him, keep him in sickness and health for as long as you both shall live. Until today, this journey you've been on together in mind. I want you to repeat after me: to have and to hold.
Didn't know that a woman could do. You don't chase what you buy.
My mind, you heard I sure will. You got that good trial. Make it up. What I did, I was so tired. Go to me, please, so to dirty the romance I left. She's running over. My mind, you heard I sure will. Listen to that. When it's out, what I did to, I love so tired.
Off we go wandering around. There were a few kids there at the festival, which it's not as weird seeing them at the festival at the Orleans as it is when you're walking down the strip and someone's like pushing their kids in strollers and, you know, dragging their like 5-year-old little boys behind them, and then there's the women promoting shows out in their nothingness. And I don't know, I just find that so odd. Or you're walking through your hotel and you know, the hotels are all casinos, and to get to their room they have to kind of go through these smoky hotels and casinos, and I just find that interesting. But you ever been to Vegas? And clearly I'm kind of pale, and even if not, like, the sun is hot enough to melt your face off. And yeah, I was like, this isn't gonna work for me. And so we found out and we realized that a lot of the women had parasols. They have these really cute little parasols and stuff. So of course I immediately had to go find the parasol sales, and there was a couple different kinds, and it took me about an hour to figure out which one I wanted. And I got one that has mermaids on it, because I love, you know, beach in the water, the mermaids are kind of my thing. So I hopped on that bandwagon, and definitely, and once that happened, I tell you what, it was a whole new world. the Orleans at the Rockabilly Festival. It was so cute though, because you'd see the little guys and they'd be dressed up and they'd have their little bouffant hair and their t-shirts with the sleeves rolled up, and oh, they were so cute. And they'd be pushing them around in like vintage strollers and little push cars, and we really loved that. There weren't a lot, but the ones that were there were definitely precious. You'd see a few moms with their little girls matching dresses. Very cute. Another thing that we do when we travel is I love to play cards. I'm a big cards junkie, and I like to get souvenir cards. These are actually from the Viva Las Vegas Festival. They're from the year before, which is fine because they didn't have any for this year out yet. So next year when we go, we'll get, I get cards everywhere we go. I try to get it with where we've been at. I don't know if you can see that. See, Viva Las Vegas. On the first half of my awesome trip, where I actually ended up in Vegas on the second half, I went to Universal Studios and I had a blast. I went all by myself. It was kind of weird and fun, kind of scary and exciting. The best part, I'd have to say, was the front of the line passes. I get those a lot of places that I go. I have them for the airport. Clear Me Now. Oh my gosh, you have to get that. It's so fun. And I stayed at the Doubletree Hilton right across from the Universal entrance. It's pretty cool because they have shuttle rides that ride you back and forth. It's like a $5 Uber ride home, or you can walk. It's kind of hard to walk out. You can walk in really easy, but it's very confusing, and you ask for directions and help and they kind of give you very strange answers, and so you end up not being able to do that too well. I did have a little incident in the hotel. It seems like little incidents follow me everywhere I go. I generally don't get too mad, but I do like them to fix the situation. I think that especially if you're paying a lot of money for something that, you know, you shouldn't be, like the tight wristband or the housekeeping decided to wake me up at 8 a.m. on the day I was leaving, which really kind of frustrated me. I knew I was gonna have a long flight from Orlando to Vegas. I knew I was gonna be in Universal Studios for a little while. I had my day all mapped out and planned, and so they're banging on my door at 8 a.m. and I was not a happy camper. Once I wake up, I'm awake. I'm a very light sleeper as it is. I'm already a little nervous. I've been away from honey for a while, so I'm like, getting ready to do some traveling. So I was not happy, and they continued to bang on the door. And of course, I'm in my pajamas and I'm sleepy, and I also don't really know what's happening. So I called down to the front desk and I'm like, you have got to make the housekeeping stop knocking on my door. I'm still sleeping. I have a flight. Of course, I tell him my whole story. And he was just beside himself with like, oh my goodness, what can we do? What can we do, ma'am, to make this better for you? We are so sorry. Definitely not how we want you to remember your stay here. Come down and I will buy you breakfast, buy you some coffee. And I said, that's really sweet. Fortunately, I can't eat anything that you guys have at the hotel here. But thanks for the offer. Maybe a coffee would definitely hit the spot. Good way to get on my good side is coffee. I love coffee. I don't drink like a lot of coffee, but I drink coffee every day. I usually have just a small amount, but I'm completely obsessed with coffee. I love, one of my favorite things to do in the morning is hubby and I hop in the car, we go grab a coffee, and then, you know, he goes to work a little later. I work from home a lot. If I do have to go out for work, it's usually in the evening. So coffee mornings are definitely high on our list. Coffees and hikes is something we do a lot. Anyway, so after I got myself all packed up, I had the genius idea to actually mail my stuff from Orlando home. So again, genius idea to mail my stuff home. They have a UPS location right in the hotel where I was at that's open Monday through Sunday. They're open like real early in the morning until real late at night. I think that they expect people to do this. So I marched down there with all my crap. The fella gets a big box out. We start stuffing it full of things, and it ended up being cheaper than paying for a check bag or a carry-on bag, because I fly cheap. We call it cheap and dirty. I mean, it's just like Spirit Airlines, here I come. I've never really had a problem with them. The only time I've ever had any problems was flights that were canceled, and it really wasn't their fault because it had to do with weather in another airport getting the plane to me to take me where I needed to go. And then they always give you like a little voucher or something for, you know, $50, but that's like two rides on Spirit, so that's always a fun thing to do. So anyway, I packed all my stuff in the box, and the fellow was real sweet. He tapes it up for me and everything. And unfortunately, I accidentally packed my sunglasses, which, you know, light eyes and the sun and melting in the hot sun. So that was kind of a challenge for the day, because I knew I had sunglasses in my bags that husband had. He took with him on his leg of his trip to Colorado, the first half. He had our checked bags because he had all the camera equipment. He had all of our clothes for Las Vegas and for our fun, you know, pool parties, swimsuits, and cute makeup and hair. He had all of that with him. So I flew very cheap and I flew very light, but it was really fantastic mailing all my dirty clothes home, except for when the box arrived. I was not home, and husband was home, so he got the box, and he was very excited that this huge box arrives in the mail. And he says, and then I opened it up and it was all your dirty clothes. So I thought that was super funny. And I'm like, yeah, but they're still dirty. How come you didn't wash them? You know? So that's kind of a cool thing. I've never really thought about that before, mailing stuff home. I would probably do that again, even if I wasn't going on a second trip. And some hotels, you can actually mail your stuff to them like with like 14, 15 days ahead of time, and they'll just keep it for you. And if they know when you're arriving, they'll actually put your box in your room for you. So that's something cool to kind of keep in mind. Again, I travel a lot. We do a lot of quick trips. We travel for his work some. We travel for, you know, our vlogs and our cameras. I travel for my job a little bit, where I teach people to make stained glass, and I do like to go and look at other places. I'm a museum junkie. I love going to museums and stuff. So with that comes some really interesting hacks and tips and stuff. And the one thing is just to go with the flow. Like if something's not going your way, don't panic. Just fix it. Fix it quickly. And don't dwell on it. Don't try to make it better. Don't try to make something happen that's not gonna happen. Fix it and move on. When Steven and his son and daughter-in-law flew out to see his other daughter in Colorado Springs, I was on my way to Orlando. Lo and behold, because I get, you know, I'm kind of like the coordinator of our family. Actually, I'm like the family wrangler, I like to call myself. So I get all the emails, and I found out that they were flying into Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs had a 3-alarm fire earlier that day, so their flight was canceled, and they were already landing in Houston. So I found out before they did, and he had Wi-Fi or some kind of service on the plane, so I was able to like send him like, you need to get off the plane immediately, you need to go, you need to find a flight. His daughter was working on finding additional flights just to get him into Colorado. We knew they weren't getting into Colorado Springs, but we were able to get them, the 3 of them, the last 3 seats on a flight into Colorado, and then they just had to rent a car, and of course everybody had the same problem, so the rental cars pulled that. Yeah, they paid a lot of money for a rental car. But anyway, so that was the thing though, and I told him, I'm like, don't panic, fix it. Get on a plane, get to Denver, get to somewhere that can get you to Denver. Don't don't try to force something to happen that's not going to happen. Now, they barely made the flight. It was the last 3 seats. They had to actually run through the airport. Luckily, their flight was delayed that was taking them to Denver by a few minutes, or they would not have made it. I think the airport might have had a little something to do with that, potentially. They were flying on Frontier, and again, the cheap airlines are great if you know what you're getting, and you're not getting anything. That's what you're getting. You're not getting any drinks, you're not getting any snacks, you're not getting any kind of, I mean, they're friendly, they're nice. I've never had a problem with, rudeness or unhappiness or unprofessionalism. You're lucky if you get flights that have seats that recline 99% of the time. They will even announce, at the very end of their little flight safety announcement, welcome to Spirit Airlines. No, our seats don't recline. Have a great flight. So this only becomes a problem if you're flying for a long trip. Like I was going from Orlando to Las Vegas. It's like a 5.5 hour flight. So I actually used some of my miles and stuff that I had, and then I paid like an extra $25 to get the bigger seat, which was kind of nice because then I didn't have to usually I end up in the middle seat and I'm stuffed in like a little sausage, and I'm not a little girl. I'm kind of I got a lot going on, and I usually have a bag full. I do because of my food allergies. I do take a lunch bag, usually stuffed full with food that I can safely eat, and it's not considered a carry-on. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you do have any allergies, food issues, medications, specialty things, the airlines that don't allow you to bring any carry-ons or anything other than one personal item, they're really good about, and they've never asked me, they're really good if you have to bring an additional bag that has just medical supplies in it or food supplies, things like that. They're not going to give you a hard time. I've never personally had a problem with Spirit Airlines, and I have had a backpack filled with 2 different seasons of clothes, scuba gear, we do like to scuba dive, and my flippers hooked onto the very, very back along with my little lunch bag pack, and they've never said a word to me. We definitely, another one of our little hacks, we definitely, when we travel, we try not to carry, we try not to check anything. We try to only have one bag, a backpack. Usually I have a food bag. If we have to carry on, we try to avoid that, mostly because then it just adds an extra fee, and then you have one more thing that you have to drag around with you. So we really stuff everything into backpacks. I have a really cool hiking backpack that I take with me because it's super lightweight, and it gets really small when you don't need it. And then if you're doing that, definitely always get a rain cover for them, because now we have a little bit more stuff when we go, because we do take cameras and stuff with us, and it's kind of funny, like our roles have changed. I've always been the shutterbug in our family, and now suddenly husband has started taking these beautiful videos. He shoots these amazing videos, he does photo shoots. It's really kind of funny how things have changed, and then I'm the one traveling like super light, where I just grab my cell phone that has this nifty little slide pocket in the back for my credit card and my ID, and that's literally all I take with me. My OtterBox case, very heavy duty, my little slide, so I'm good to go, and and that's it. And I even have like a little nifty little holder for it, and half the time it's like hooked onto my belt or something, and then in my pocket with like a little leash, and I'm good. That's all I need. So it's kind of funny, but definitely think about traveling light. It's super fun, and again, places like Spirit and stuff, if you're not traveling light, you're paying. So down in, the cheap and dirty flights are awesome. You can get them for so inexpensively. If you join like their little weird clubs and stuff, I've gotten a flight one time I paid with tax, it was $22, I believe. That was just one way, of course. We do fly a lot back and forth. I fly to see my daughter. She goes to school in Chicago. And mostly when I fly, it's because I'm either moving her in or out of her dorm, and I tend to do just a one-day trip. I go in the morning, we move her out, and then I fly home that evening. Hotels are expensive, and you're just spending the night to get up the next morning and fly home anyway, so I'd rather come home and be tired than And then that. So definitely like get out there and explore the world. That's what we did. Like the Viva Las Vegas Festival was so fantastic. I'm so excited that my husband loved going to. I really enjoyed everything about it. There's nothing that happened except for my little incident with my wrist bracelet, which you probably already heard about or you're going to hear about. Other than that, and then that actually worked out anyway. But the festival was super cool. We got to see Jerry Lee Lewis, so he's still alive and kicking, and he was pretty awesome. We didn't get to really good seats, but we could see him play the piano a little bit where we were at. We definitely could hear him well. And then after that, the Stray Cats were playing. They're still around. They're pretty awesome. The three of them, those guys got some energy going, so that was pretty fun seeing the Stray Cats play and listening to them. And we should have done this. We thought about it halfway through the concert, or I did because I'm a crazy person, where Steven was on one side and I was on the other, and we should have seen who could get up to the front of the stage first, because we definitely wormed our way up. Of course, we're not rude, we're not pushing in front of people, but we see an open pocket and we just weave through. So that's another fun thing to do when you're at a concert. It's general admission. Play a game, see if you can like beat your friend to the front of the stage. So I love being up front because I love when they give me picks and, you know, set lists. Of course, this one I didn't get any, they weren't giving them away. But anyway, so tell me about the different fun things you like to do when you travel and any hacks that you have. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell at the bottom for more updates.